Alrighty guys, today's video, just a little breakdown on the differences between two types of sugar, glucose and fructose. They're the most common types of sugar. Glucose is very abundant in starchy foods like potatoes, rice, and it's more physiologically active in the body. Whereas fructose, as the name suggests, is found in fruit as well as other sources. It's sweeter than glucose, that's why it's used as a sweetener in processed foods. But you need to know that they act very differently in the body in regards to their metabolism and how we store them. So basically, the liver can turn either fructose or glucose into glycogen, while the muscle tissue can only store glucose as glycogen directly. With the liver, it holds about 10% of our total body's glycogen, while the remaining 90% is stored in the muscle tissue. And how much glycogen the liver actually stores in grams is it's based on your frame and your size, but in generally it's going to be roughly around 100 grams. The liver has a very limited storage capacity for glycogen, and once it's full, it's full. We can't overfill it. So anything that needs to be converted to glucose will go down a different pathway that can contribute to inflammation, insulin resistance, and stored body fat. Why is this important? Firstly, fructose has to go to the liver to be converted to glycogen. So no matter how much fructose you're consuming, it won't replenish muscle glycogen once the liver is full of glycogen. It will have to go down a different pathway and most likely be stored as fat. This is a determining factor really when you're choosing whether fructose is a good or bad decision for you in your training. It really just depends on how the liver glycogen statuses are. On the other hand, as you gain muscle tissue, the amount of glycogen you can store in muscles can increase. So, and there's different types of training when we do hypertrophy training, stuff that's very glycogen-based training. We get good at storing muscle glycogen if we choose the right foods. And then when you're looking at performance and recovery, muscle glycogen is the most important thing to replenish. So next time you train, you can hit the session just as hard. So when should you use fructose? It can be helpful when you're coming out of a fasted or carb depleted state, when both the muscle and the liver are low in glycogen and you want to replenish them. If our goal is to build muscle and you want to replenish glycogen as fast as possible, one of the key signaling factors for the body to be anabolic and protein sparing is to fill up the liver and the muscle glycogen as much as possible. In this case, you could use a bit of fructose to help fill the liver up more quickly and then switch to a glucose or starchy based carbohydrate to fill the muscle stores. When your goal is body composition and fat loss, shifting your carbohydrate consumption to mostly glucose-based carbs, so starchy carbs, for that time may be more beneficial. This is because muscles, when they're depleted, so if we deplete our chest, and they will be more preferential to take up glucose from the starchy carbs and fill up the liver more slowly. And when the liver is depleted in glycogen, it'll signal hormones that aid to free up fatty acids to be used as fuel, which is going to be more favorable for our body composition results, as this means our muscles will be storing glycogen while we might be burning body fat at a higher percentage rate. So to recap, fructose isn't inherently evil. Issues just arise when the liver's limited glycogen stores are full, and we send that, say, fructose down a different pathway that contributes to inflammation, insulin resistance, and body fat storage. So just consider what carbohydrate sources you're using post-workout, or if you're trying to replenish your carbohydrates, just be mindful of what you're using. Awesome, guys. Thanks. And any questions, just post in the group.